My name is Marco Galarza, and I will be identifying types of bias used in sources covering the topic of arbitrary arrests in Belarus, Serbia. The first article I researched was a shortened version of an official communication about a Belarusian human rights defender and lawyer. In this source, language bias included heavy use of the term allegedly, which diminished the article's reliability as it deemed the evidence uncertain. Examples of omission bias were also found in the article, when it stated that the lawyer was hit 15 times in the head, but offered no further evidence or backing claims. However, the website itself is extremely transparent and uses concise organization and language that allows the reader to verify the credibility of the source. I would rank this source second place in reliability. The second source reads an informative telling of the arbitrary arrest of two Belarusian human rights defenders. A particular sentence near the end states, "The organizations underline that the politically motivated, arbitrary, and severe harassment and ill treatment of human rights defenders and political prisoners need to stop immediately." This can be seen as a partisan or ideological bias, as the statement promotes a certain idea in a persuasive way. The author also claims that one of the human rights defenders was arrested seemingly because of her position at the Human Rights Center, but does not give evidence nor any basis besides further details of her work. I deem it as framing bias because it's presenting information to promote a particular interpretation. However, the source itself is extremely credible, so I rank this source first place in reliability. The third source is a brief and well-organized news report. This news report, however, demonstrates source bias through the use of only one resource referred to as the report. The report is linked in the article, and it's a 27-page long report of human rights situations. Throughout the article, no information or evidence is properly cited, forcing the reader to assume facts without being able to easily verify it themselves. This can be described as omission bias, as the author deliberately chooses not to cite their claims. The 27-page long original report would be a better and more reliable source, as it is the official document that the article is supposedly based off of. I rank this third in reliability. The fourth source describes a press release on the Human Rights Council. The article is not organized very clearly, and the reading is pretty lengthy. There is a particular statement that demonstrates language bias. In the 9th paragraph, it says, "However, every death was one too many." This, although generally agreeable, has an underlying emotional, persuasive tone. Another statement claims the authorities seem to have launched a full-scale attack on civil society as a whole, targeting people from all walks of life. This could also count as language bias, where extreme language is being used when describing all walks of life. Though the website is definitely credible, this particular article is not recommended as a reliable source to use. I rank this fourth in reliability.